Hello everybody, Wilder Ireland here. I'm going to do my review. I don't know what they call this, an interim review. I think it's a bit early for an interim review, but I've had this out now for a week or two, so I've enough time to make some practical comments on it. I may do a longer review down the road, or if something goes drastically wrong, I'll definitely revisit it. So, first of all, I'm using this new camera to film the camera. So there's two cameras involved. It's very technical. But anyway, I first tried this action camera. I've never had one before, but I tried it out. I did a video last week or at the weekend where I was showing you how to deal with SD cards. And I had it on my head, which was a sight to behold. But to cut a long story short, I thought I was actually, looking down at my hands when I was showing the different SD cards and the way the SD card reader and that. But of course, I didn't really. So we'll see how this goes. I shouldn't mess it up because it's on a little tripod, but you never know with me. The other thing I want to say is, if you don't want to watch this, because it is probably going to be a long video, the verdict is I'm really happy with the camera. Early days, obviously. Very happy with it. Far better video quality than my older cameras. And by the way, two of those have now failed me. These are the Cam Park and 2Guard. They're budget cameras. I did a kind of a review on those. I'll put a link to it. I'll also put a link to the little video I did on this camera, but it's just kind of more or less just, showing it to you really. So another one has failed. So, there you go. But yeah, very happy with this, but there are issues. Now, as far as I can see, all of them there's a way around them. But there are issues with it, so I'm going to go into that later. And I'll also have some info for some of the other Browning owners, because there's some issues that have been resolved through firmware updates, but not everybody is aware of that from what I can see. So I'll go through that as well. And I just realised I meant to grab a couple of SD cards to show you something, so just bear with me. I'll see now. Is that one? It's raining outside, guys. Very heavy rain. Let's talk about the weather. Now, here we go. I just want to have these ready for later on when I'm talking about some of the issues with these cams. Okay, so another thing I want to say about all of these trail cameras, because I've seen comments on Facebook about I'm a wildlife, I'm into wildlife. I'm not a hunter, so I want these cameras to observe wildlife and track down animals, film them, and see different behaviors. So the groups I'm on, or the Facebook pages or groups, are people, like-minded people. They're not hunters. Well, some of them may hunt as well, I don't know, but they do, complain about certain, they're saying that these cameras are really expensive and they can't do this, that, and the other. I'll go into that a little bit later. And I have the same, views on some features I would like. But I think for those who don't know, these cameras were designed for hunting, and really for hunting deer. Look, there's just deer, there's a moose, but deer everywhere. And Browning here would be one of the biggest manufacturers, and I don't think they're very interested in what we want, because we're just a tiny little niche market to them. They're dealing, they're targeting hunters, and hunting is, fairly popular everywhere. But as I'm sure you know, and if there's any American viewers, it's massive in the United States. So they're really only concerned with appealing to hunters, and that's why some of the features we would like aren't there. So what I'm saying is, when you buy these cameras, and they are fantastic because they're weatherproof, the quality, the image, I don't take photos, but I think the photos are very good. But anyway, the video quality on these, it's very good, okay? Compared to the cheaper cameras I had that have now, two of them have just kaput anyway. So, but they're not going to do. They will not do certain things you may want, and I'll talk about that later. But I guess what I'm saying is you're using a product that was primarily designed for something else. If you can accept that and work around it, you'd probably be quite happy with these cameras. But if you're looking for something that's perfect for your purposes, you know, you might not be so happy. So that's something to bear in mind, because they're not cheap either. I actually wrote some stuff down. Normally I just waffle off the top of my head, so I'm really trying to make an effort here. Let's see now. Okay, so one of the issues with this one is, and this goes for I think all, or the two main branded trail cameras that I can figure out are Browning and Bushnell. And Browning, you can record for up to a few minutes during the day, but when it switches to night, the most you can record for is 20 seconds. And I think it's maybe even 15 on a Bushnell. But so, and initially when I was shopping, I was saying I need a 1 minute minimum for nighttime. I was on the other cameras, I was using 1 minute night and day. You know, everybody has different requirements, but I felt that was a good compromise between not missing out on something and just running too long and just wasting battery, and, you know, like, it's just a personal thing. And again, the reason for that, I think, is they're targeting hunters, and really deer hunters, right? So hunters generally, and if there's any hunters out there, that feel free to correct me on this, but they don't, a lot of them will only shoot photos, and those that do shoot video only want short clips, because they're not studying. They like to see a bit of behavior, some of them, but, you know, it's not their focus, like it would be with me or some other people who are, you know, researchers, or, you know, because it's researchers and wildlife enthusiasts who adopted these from hunters, because they realized, you know, they would be great for wildlife observation. But they're not interested, hunters, in really long videos. Their primary concern there is sometimes they will actually leave their cameras out for an extremely long period, you know, sometimes for the whole of the deer season. So they don't want big long videos eating into the battery. So that's why Browning and Bushnell, you know, they just you know, they know most of their customers aren't interested. So these only run for 20 seconds max at night, because nighttime is when you're really going to eat into your batteries because of the infrared, the lights there, LED, whatever you call them, you know what I mean? So now the way around this, and as I said, you know, any issues I have with this, there are workarounds. The way around this is you can just run it for the 20 seconds. You've no choice unless you want to go for less. And then the second delay between, this is the delay between when one video stops and the next starts. So you put that at the minimum, 0.1, which is what I do. And you're not going to miss very much that way. Then you can just edit them together. So that's the workaround on it, on that particular issue. But as I said, unless you're going to go for the cheaper cameras, I don't think there's I'm open to correction, but I don't think there's a good quality camera with really good quality video that will do more than 15 or 20 seconds at night. So that's that. Now this camera also has, actually while I'm talking, I did this in the other video, but in case you don't want to watch that first video, I'll just leave that there. I hope you can see it now, because I can't see the camera. But so you can read the specs. There's nothing much to read there. This is the main. I'm not sure if this is in shot. If not, I apologize. But if you go to the Browning website, you can obviously get all the details. Yeah, this has another option here called Smart IR Video. Now, what that is, but again, that's going to work at nighttime for you, because it's 20 seconds at night, so it doesn't solve that problem. But now, it's not something I would use, but you can set, if you set it to Smart IR Video, in the daytime, it will just run until the animal leaves the zone, or leaves, you know, the area. So now I can only see that really being of value if it was a place with very low traffic, because I definitely couldn't use that, because, you know, I would just eat up my batteries and I wouldn't want to be editing through it all. But maybe in some situations where there's, you know, an animal and it's very few animals coming through, that could be an option. And that means even if you go over I can't remember what the max is, probably on there. the max period to run a video length. This will override it, and it will just keep filming till the animal leaves. But it is it might be useful for some people. Now, what else? Okay, something I miss from the other cameras, not that I would ever touch them again, by the way, is it did have this Wi-Fi connection, which was like a Bluetooth, and you could download your photos. But as I explained in that other video with the SD cards, it's it's very slow and it eats into your battery. You're better off just swapping the SD card or using an SD card reader. But what I did find it very useful for is when I was setting up the camera. And now, if you've never done it before, you're not going to miss it because most trail cameras don't have it. But it was brilliant. You could just micro adjust, and you could see how the finished video was going to look because you're doing it on your phone. But anyway, it's just something I thought I'd mention. Now, this camera, I'll just turn that there for a second. I don't know if this is in view, but you know, so if you want, you can pause on this and read it. But the main thing is the back here. That's where, sorry, my thumb on it, but that's where all the info is. But as I said, you know, just if you go onto the Browning website, you'll get everything there. Now, this is what I wouldn't say I'm excited about things. I don't really get excited about things much anymore. I do, but I'll talk to my shrink about that. You don't need to hear it. But anyway, this camera will take your regular alkaline batteries. It will take the lithium batteries, which are really good, expensive, but it will take rechargeables. Not a lot of trail cameras do. Now, people get away with using them sometimes, but they can give issues. You know, they'll work, but not work completely. But anyway, this, and I think it's one of the few Browning, if not the, yeah, because a lot of the other ones don't. Anyway, so this is what I'm hoping. These are rechargeable batteries. These are meant to be the top brand or one of the top brands, but I'm no expert. Maybe it's a bit like iPhone where they say it's the top brand and they say GoPro's the top brand, but you can get better brands. But anyway, so I am a bit excited about this. I've bought a load of these. I've been spending a fortune up until now on batteries. I'm running 3 cameras usually. So so that to me is hopefully, even though this costs a lot of money in my book anyway, even though they do some more expensive models. Yeah, rechargeable batteries, I'm hoping will just save me a fortune. So it goes away. So yeah, alkaline, lithium, or rechargeable batteries on this one. Now another little issue, which is totally minor, nitpicking, but it might be of interest. Anyway, so the straps that come with this, the 3 straps that come with this are top notch. You know, very good quality. You have a metal clip there and really good quality webbing or whatever you call it. But I don't like them because the cheapo straps that I used to get with the other cameras, the Chinese cameras, and I bought about 5 or 6 of these online, but I haven't had one fail yet, even though it looks really weak and flimsy and, you know, it's plastic. I haven't had one fail yet. And I give them a lot of abuse. And as I said, I bought a few online just in case they do. But what I find brilliant about these is you can really, if you're trying to get this tied against a tree, and especially some of those slimmer trees with kind of slippery bark, I'm not talking about big old kind of gnarly trees, they'd say, with rough bark. This thing, it doesn't really get up, you can't really cinch it really tight. Even though it's much better quality, I'm not having to go Browning because, as I said, this probably cost a hell of a lot more to manufacture than this thing. But with this guy, you can get this right up against the trunk or the branch and really tighten it. So I'm actually using these instead of the high quality Browning one. It's only a minor thing, but just for anyone who might buy one of these, and if you still have these lying around, hold on to them. Or as I said, you can buy these online for very cheap. Okay, so that's a real minor thing. You can hear the paper going. You see, I'm all organized. I have my sheet here. I wonder is the camera still running though? I'm probably could be talking to myself. Anyway, what else? So the battery. Now this is what another issue. There is a fault with this camera. Sorry. Let me put the camera there. And then just quickly, I'm not going to go through setting it up because you've listened to me long enough. I was going to say there's loads of videos on this online, but actually for this exact camera, I didn't even mention the name of the camera. Recon Force Elite HP4, the Recon Force Elite HP4. Anyway, there's loads of videos. Any Browning that has this type of screen, and a lot of their recent models do. Some of the really low budget ones don't. They just have a kind of a readout here. But it's really easy to use. Really intuitive. And oh my God, you can see the top of my head there. I'm going to the what do you call it tomorrow? I'm sure you're not that interested. The hairdressers here in Ireland have been closed, the barbers, due to the COVID, and they opened last week. So I wait the first week out. I'll be too busy. So tomorrow I'll have a lovely haircut. Yeah. So look, it's so easy. Look, you've got the mode, which will bring you back to the setup screen if you like, and the mode brings you in here to your menu. That's playback if you wanted to look at video on the screen. For me, with my eyesight, I think it's not really worth much. I prefer to just download it to the SD card reader and onto my phone, or just take it home and look at it. But the whole setup is so easy. So you just hit E is enter. So you hit enter, and you can go down through all the different options. Video length, then you just hit enter. I have mine on 1 minute. And as I said, at night time, it'll just go to 20 and override that. But I explained that well enough, I think. So really simple to use, I think. I think easier than the two guard and the Camp Park ones I had. Not that they were difficult, by the way, but this just seems more intuitive. There now is your battery. You see, I was talking about the batteries. Let's just have a look at that as a matter of interest. So there you see, you've got your alkaline, which I have at the moment. And once they run out, NIMH is the rechargeable ones. So once my last lot of alkaline run out, I'm going on to that, and lithium on the top. The purpose of that is just so it can read the battery, how much is left, better. Now I don't know how accurate they are at reading the batteries. I know, and I know with the alkaline, I think once it gets around to 50 or 60%, it can start to knock that off. Now it's just a screensaver thing. It starts to kind of go. I found that on the other cameras as well. And another thing, actually, the temperature on this, I've seen people saying that the temperature isn't accurate. I think that's on all the cameras. I found that with the whatever, Camp Parks, two guards, whatever. It's probably something to do with just the heat of the actual the circuitry or something. I don't know. I'm not a tech guy. Sometimes it's spot on, but you're going to get these crazy readings. Like in the winter here in Ireland, I was getting 17, 20 degrees centigrade in the middle of the night, which global warming is bad, but we're not there yet. Yeah. So here's one of the issues, right? This camera and a good few of the Browning cameras, if you use a high capacity, high speed card with the U3, it won't work. I don't know exactly. I think it'll work, but it won't let you download. It malfunctions, right? So if you use these guys, it's fine. And these are much cheaper, and they're absolutely fine in these cameras, by the way. But I already had these for one of my other cameras where they were recommended. Excuse me now. So I got on to Browning because one of the retailers had it on there. They had a message on their webpage about it. And I said, I've just bought one of these. Is it true I can't use these higher spec cards? And they said there is, but we have a fixer, we have a firmware update. And she actually sent it to me by email. Now I've looked on the Browning website before I recorded this, and that firmware update is there, and it's not just for this camera. It affects quite a few. So if you go into the Browning website, and I think it's under software, just fish around there, you will see different firmware updates. Which brings me to my next topic, which is, because someone else was asking about the Recon Force Edge. These are other Browning cameras. I just thought I'd mention this because a lot of people don't know this, and why would they know this? Because unless you're checking the Browning site every day, I don't think they send you messages. And the Spec Ops, those are two Browning models. The Recon Force Edge Spec Ops. Some of these, not all, I think the more recent ones it's corrected in. But if you go into that Browning software page again on the website, and it'll give you the model numbers or the dates or something. And the issue with those was at the start of the videos, there was some sort of a clicking noise. So again, they now have a software upgrade. These software upgrades work by you load it, download it onto your SD card. Don't open it up, and then you just pop it in. And there's an option on the menu there for firmware updates. That's how you do it. That's how you actually, yeah. So I just thought I'd mention that. And this brings me to the problem with this camera. Finally, you say, this camera I noticed straight away when the video starts. I'll talk about nighttime first. When the video starts at nighttime, there's this really bright flash. I'd never seen that on my other cameras. And in the daytime, it still has an effect. You'll find the first, now I'm talking millisecond here. This isn't a huge deal, but anyway, the first millisecond of daytime video is also a bit off. I can't explain it. I can't upload it either because YouTube kind of, I just can't show you a copy, but look, just take my word for it or don't. But it's just this really bright flash, and the first millisecond in the daytime, the footage is a bit off. That's the only way I can describe it. I'm not. So I bought 3 of these. So I first noticed it on one of the cameras, and it was happening on every single video. And then I tried moving the camera, higher up in the tree. That's not where I wanted it, but just to experiment, moving it in a different direction, every single video on this one particular camera, I had this issue. And I was like, oh, I've got one dud camera. I'm going to have to get onto them. I'm not, it's no way after spending that money. I'm not going to. Then it started to happen on the other cameras, but not continuously. Often, but not all the time. And then I spoke to a dealer, not the dealer I purchased them off. And this dealer told me that there is an issue, that this is an actual issue with these cameras. I got onto my dealer, and he was absolutely excellent, and he didn't even ask me to send back the camera or anything. He just said, I'll get a new camera out. See, this is the thing about buying from Browning. They are well known, it's officially a 1-year warranty here, but all the dealers seem to have a 2-year warranty. I don't know what that's about, but anyway, those Cam Park and 2-guard cameras, you get a month and then forget about it. That probably says something about the longevity they reckon the camera has. So it's up to you. I would not let this put you off buying this camera, because hopefully, and I'm not a tech expert, maybe they'll put another firmware update to resolve this. And if they don't, it's not a huge deal. It's just, as I said, it's a tiny millisecond, and you can either leave it in or just edit that tiny first bit of video out. But it does seem to show a kind of a theme here with Browning, doesn't it? They just, they don't seem to do much field testing. I think they leave that up to their customers. So there is that, isn't there? Because we've had this issue with the SD cards, and then on those other cameras that I mentioned, there was the noise, the clicking sound at the start. So anyway, but that's the story. I just thought I'd mention it. Was there anything else? I think that's pretty much it, really. I'll keep these out in the field anyway. Oh, I should say something about buying these. Yeah. Now, I'm 100% honest on these. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. And I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything. As I said, my channel is tiny. But I first looked at buying these in the UK. I'm in Ireland, and since Brexit, it has all become a bit of a mess. But anyway, I was buying 3. And I was buying 3 enclosure things as well. So I went to 3 dealers in the UK. I would say 3 of the better known dealers. 2 of them were definitely big anyway. And I told them the situation, and I said, is there anything you could do for me on price? I'm not going to name and shame now. one of them basically said it is what it is on the website. So when you hear that, you're kind of, well, fair enough. The other did do a deal, fair enough. The one I got the best deal off though, and I'm going to name is, and I didn't buy my cameras off this company, so you know, but Wildview cameras. So if you're thinking of buying in the UK, you could check out Wildview cameras. And there's another company. Oh, I can't believe I can't remember this now. While I'm trying to figure out that other company, I couldn't see anywhere in Ireland selling this camera. There's a couple of places sell Brownings, but it's a very limited selection. I'm not saying there isn't. I don't want to do anyone injustice, but I couldn't see anything. So I ordered off a company in the Netherlands, and I think this guy is some sort of a distributor as well. But he doesn't just sell Browning; he sells, you know, loads of different brands. And he's called Wildlife Monitoring Solutions. And obviously, for people in Ireland, maybe, you know, you're going to be paying through euros, so you're not going to have to worry about what sort of a tax bill you're going to get when it arrives on your door. So Wildlife Monitoring Solutions. The name of the guy there is Lennart. Now let me just see if I can get you this other company. Forgive me now. Yeah, let me see. Now, hold on. Now. Yes. The reason I'm mentioning this company, now I don't know anything about them, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, but I'm on a Facebook group that the owner runs. Martin is his name. Martin Scottage. And I don't know what their prices are like, but anyway, I do want to give him a shout out because I'm on that group. So this one is called wildlifeservices.co.uk. Wildlifeservices.co.uk. So the UK ones then, Wildview cameras. Is it cameras? I've actually forgotten now. And wildlifeservices.co.uk. And then the one I bought off in the Netherlands is Wildlife Monitoring Solutions. And as I said, I had an issue then with one of those cameras. And to be honest, you know, it could just be something, you know, it might be even worse than the other ones. And if they do a firmware update, it could be fine. But I just was a little unhappy that it was happening all the time with this one camera. It seemed to be worse on this one camera. So I had it changed. So that's the thing. So anyway, look, I think I'm going to leave it there. And I will do a follow-up, you know, Wildview cameras. I just wanted to get that right. Wildview cameras, yeah, is the other UK one who gave me the best deal. But I will do a follow-up video, you know, way down the line, unless, as I said, there are more issues. If anything goes wrong, I'll definitely let you know. So that's it. Listen, thanks for tuning in. And thanks for all those who have subscribed and supported me. I'm only getting used to this, as you can see. So, and if you're interested at all, please subscribe. I have a lot of different varied content, wildlife-related content on the channel. Or you could maybe pass it on to someone who might be interested. But regardless, I hope you found this video a little bit helpful, because this is a new camera on the market. I haven't seen any full reviews on it yet. And thanks for watching. All the very best. Adios.